For most teenagers, a smartphone is a distraction. For my 16-year-old daughter, Chloe, it is a lifeline. To understand why, you have to go back 3 years. When Chloe was in middle school, her campus went into a hard lockdown. It wasn't a drill. There were reports of an active shooter. For an hour, the students sat in the dark, sobbing, convinced they were going to die. During that hour, Chloe wasn't just texting me goodbye. She was passing her phone around the dark classroom so her weeping classmates could send final messages to their own parents. Thankfully, the gunfire was near the school, not inside it, and nobody was hurt. But the psychological damage was done. Since that day, Chloe has suffered from severe anxiety. She is in therapy and doing the work, but she has one hard boundary. She needs her phone on her person. Not to use it, just to feel the weight of it in her pocket. It's her grounding tool. I have a standing rule with her. If a teacher challenges you, tell them to call me. It had never been an issue until she met Mrs. Vance. Mrs. Vance was the new Spanish teacher, old school and rigid. She had a basket by the door and a policy that no student entered without surrendering their device. On Tuesday, Chloe tried to explain. She politely told Mrs. Vance about her anxiety and offered a compromise. She would put the phone on silent and leave it in her bag, or she would go to the principal's office to have them call me to verify her medical exemption. Mrs. Vance didn't care. Instead of listening, she physically snatched the phone out of Chloe's hand and snapped, "Sit down." Chloe tried to comply. She sat at her desk and tried to use the breathing techniques her therapist taught her, but the trauma response was too strong. Without the phone, her brain convinced her she was back in that dark middle school classroom. She started hyperventilating. She was shaking so hard her desk rattled. Instead of checking on her, Mrs. Vance rolled her eyes. She addressed the class, saying, "Ignore the tantrum. She's just looking for attention." Chloe couldn't breathe. It was her best friend, Maya, who saved her. Maya stood up and shouted, "She's having a panic attack. She needs the nurse." "Sit down or you'll get detention too," Mrs. Vance warned. Maya didn't sit. She grabbed Chloe's arm, helped her up, and walked her straight out of the classroom while Mrs. Vance shouted about disrespect. They made it to the nurse's office, where the nurse immediately recognized the symptoms, gave Chloe her own phone to hold, and called me. But the school didn't call to apologize. It called to tell me I needed to come in immediately to discuss Chloe's behavioral issues. I arrived at the school furious, but I kept my cool. We sat in a conference room. Me, Chloe, Maya, Maya's parents, the principal, and Mrs. Vance.